That one, and that will be a 4 under par 66. Keep in mind an afternoon tee time for Matthew Wolff. Best score of the afternoon wave.
Hello there, and
really
welcome to the
done.
golf club. Pretty pumped to be out today, having some golf.
Yeah, really well
See
done.
what we can do out there on the tee.
The point I was going to make, and you know, there might be people that say off base, and I was listening to Lee Westwood there, and he was talking about the adrenaline of playing in a major championship. As far as I know, and I don't know how far back, this is the first, well, the PGA would have been the first major championship played without fans. This is the first U.S. Open to be played without fans. Having played in the U.S. Open.
Pretty deep stuff here.
The feeling out there.
Give it a good hack.
And this is why it's not surprising to me that maybe that there's this many low scores, because these guys are that good. I can assure you, having fans out there oohing and eyeing at every shot with anticipation of things going wrong for players and carnage with players in thick rough, I have to believe it is having an effect in a positive way on players. They're maybe not thinking about us too much. You know, walking off a green after making double or triple bogey, people say, hey, you'll get it back. I don't know. Maybe I'm out there for thinking that. But I just think it's a different atmosphere and a different
solid swing
landscape. And without question, it's a much different landscape than these players are used to playing in. But it's almost a factor that they're not having to think about.
They've never seen it before. Well, at least in a long time.
Okay, back on the fairway. Out of that rough.
Have seen it.
Let's set our sights on the green.
Not too long ago. In amateur ranks, there's not that many folks.
But they've never played in a major championship like this.
That's right.
And again, I got to believe it is playing some part in this.
It's a great point. Matthew Wolff made the par putt. 4 under par, 66 for Matthew Wolff. He is one shot off the lead. Ricky Fowler in with the 1 under par, 69. He is 4 shots back. Everybody on the golf course has either got one hole left. There's a couple guys that are in the middle of their 17th hole. Justin Thomas with a 1-shot lead. It's the U.S. Open on U.S. Open Radio.
Are you vote ready?
This is a patriotic thing to do.
Make sure you can make your voice
Even
heard
higher
this election
after the first hole.
And learn about voting options available in your state at National
Okay, hole number 2. Let's see what you can do here.
.org. September 22nd is National Voter Registration Day, the holiday that celebrates our democracy. Join the celebration by making sure you are registered now at nationalvoterregistrationday.org.
Boy, I love golf. So
You dipping tobacco? That stuff can kill you.
Relax. This is Jake's Mint Chew. It's made from high-quality mint, has no tobacco, no nicotine, and tastes great.
I've been trying to get my dad to quit.
Then go to jakesmintchew.com and order him some. Jake's Mint Chew really helped me.
What?
I said go to jakesmintchew.com and order some.
Go to jakesmintchew.com now. Chew healthy, chew mint. Available in long
Great
cutter
contact.
Try
nice
some
swing.
today.
When running a business, HR issues can kill you. Wrongful termination suits, minimum wage requirements, labor regulations, and HR manager salaries are not cheap. They're $70,000 a year. I'm Alan Jones, founder and CEO of Bambi. I created Bambi specifically for small business. Get a dedicated HR manager, craft HR policy, and maintain your compliance, all for just $99 a month. Seriously, let's change HR from your biggest liability to your biggest strength. With Bambi, your dedicated HR manager is available by phone, email, or real-time chat. From onboarding to terminations, we customize your policies to fit your business and help you manage your employees day to day, all for just $99 a month, period. Month to month, no hidden fees, cancel anytime. Get a free HR audit today.
Go to Bambi.com/XM right now to schedule your free HR audit. That's Bambi.com/XM. Spelled BAM to the VEE.com/XM.
Who will join Tiger Woods and Jack Nicklaus on the list of U.S. Open champions? Find out right here on U.S. Open Radio.
For the birdie here.
Welcome back. Opening round of the U.S. Open here. 120th playing. Winged Foot Golf Club. Mamaroneck, New York, and Will Zalatoris has just hit another laser beam at the 18th. He's had a hole-in-one at the 7th. Then he hit the flag stick at 13, that par 3. Thought he had made that, and he just hit it to about 6 inches at 18.
I'm betting his aimer's working.
Here's Steven Yeager for birdie over at 9.
1 under for the round.
Excuse me, at 8, his 17th hole of the day, and that was about 30 feet away.
Let's put this ball down in the fairway.
Pace on these guys still on the golf course.
These guys are really, really moving right now. And try to get you let's see, Romain Langasque is out there on 18. He's with Will Zalatoris. They're at 1 over par. There is a group behind them. Danny Lee just finished up over on 9.
How about the story of Danny Lee playing a practice round with the range balls?
I missed that.
Because he was hitting them in the rough. He didn't want to lose his own golf. So he was playing with, because they said tour on him.
Sure.
Yeah. And he was using the practice ball.
Danny Lee just finished up, made a birdie there, shot even par 70 today. So birdie at the par 5 ninth. Well, I mean, if you feel like you're going to lose that many balls, then you're probably going to find some.
That's unfortunate.
Also. Well, the first 5 trips of the U.S. Open at Winged Foot, opening rounds in the 60s, there were only 17 of them. That's in 5 U.S. Opens combined. Today, there were 21 rounds in the 60s. Just today alone. Justin Thomas leads. Taylor Zarzer has caught up with Xander Schauffele.
Xander Schauffele, 68 on day 1 of the U.S. Open. I bet you'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely. I sort of stayed patient all day, took what the course gave me, and made a few putts.
Did the course give you more than you thought it would?
It's funny how it goes when you tee off in the afternoon. I think I was watching coverage this morning, and a lot of the boys got off to a nice start,
swing.
so it made the rest of the field believe that you can make birdies. You know, if I turned the TV on and 2 over was leading, then I think maybe mentally it would have been a little different. But
all right, we're in the first cut here. Let's chip
we
this
did see
bad
some
boy
birdies
on the
early.
green.
If you know, good shots were rewarded, and it was good to see the coverage, and then just sort of jump right on it when we got on the course.
Walking with your dad is a riot, by the way. He is just nonstop entertainment, and he said they're about to make this a lot more difficult. Is that what you expect too?
I think so. I do enjoy when tournaments sort of start. They get their feet sort of wet, and then they can make it more difficult. I never really enjoy when they make it really hard on Thursday, and then they make it easier until Sunday.
What?
So
Great
USGA,
chip out of that,
they're known for tricking up courses, and
sitting
they definitely
at 2 under for the
this
round.
one, and I think it's gonna. The sub air will be on tonight, and it'll firm up, and things will get a little bit harder.
Grip it, rip it, let's go.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Great playing by Xander again. We mentioned it. Has that finished outside of the top 6 in the 3 previous U.S. Opens? Has a tie for 3rd, a tie for 5th in there, and a player that hasn't won in a while, but has been in the mix.
He's 3 behind Justin Thomas. He's the leader, 5 under par. We're back with more after this. It's the opening round of the U.S. Open.
Your home for the 2020 U.S. Open, Sirius 208 and XM92.
Cleanings, checkups, and cavities? Have Dr. Chang's dental practice at capacity.
Patient in room 1 is getting a root canal.
Looks
the
like you'll
X-rays
be
in
in
room
the
2 are
short
gonna
stuff
have to wait.
here.
We're down to 1 hygienist.
It's time to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. The moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Indeed delivers 2.5 times more hires than the other branded job sites combined, according to Breezy HR 2019. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first job post. Terms and conditions apply.
Hi, this is Ben Midgley, CEO of Crunch Franchising. You've been hearing a lot about Crunch Fitness from some big names in media. Forbes, CNBC, Entrepreneur, Inc., CNN Money, Fox, The Huffington Post, and many more. We are a different kind of franchise company. We focus on staying small to grow large. That means we have fewer franchisees that own more health clubs. This allows us to stay nimble and lead our industry rather than react to it. At Crunch, you get the 2 fastest growing segments in fitness under one roof. High value, low price memberships, and a boutique fitness experience. Combine that with being the #1 national chain in space, and you're in great shape. And finally, Franchise Business Review ranked us the #1 franchise in the fitness category for franchisee satisfaction. That's an anonymous survey done only by franchise owners, so you know it's good. So if you're looking for a great opportunity in an even better industry, then check us out today at crunch.com. That's crunch.com.
The U.S. Open Championship is unlike any other. Witness the battle and relish in the glory next year at Torrey Pines in San Diego. Tickets to the 2021 U.S. Open Championship are on sale now. Get your tickets now, and you'll be able to feel the roar of the crowd next June.
Gary Woodland with a big fist bump has just won the U.S. Open in style.
A variety of tickets are available, and these prices won't last long. Visit usopen.com to purchase.
U.S. Open Week is on Sirius XM.
Got it! Martin Keimer waltzes away with the 2014 U.S. Open Championship.
Justin Thomas leading the way here, 5 under par. They're not going to catch him, but Mark, it looks like they are going to finish.
Fortunately.
It's getting pretty dark, but nobody has more than a hole left. I see groups in the 18th fairway, see them in the 9th fairway, so looks like they're going to get it in. It could speak too soon. Maybe a handful of groups that don't. Maybe a handful of players, rather. That don't
it could be close. Again, it gets to this point, you have a choice. The officials will give them a choice if they want to finish or not.
And they're coming out tomorrow morning anyway.
Yeah.
So they have it all staggered the right way. A lot of folks, too many to thank, were involved in today's broadcast. The post-game show coming up next, Craig Can and Mark Lai. Some of the guys you've heard so far today, Fred Albers, Jason Sobel, Colt Knost, John McGinnis, Carl Paulson, Gary McCord. We heard Bob Ford, Drew Stoltz, Dave Marr, Jim McLean, Michael Breed, and even more than that. Great job by everybody. Kelly Clements with her hands full back there. Jeremy Davis producing in the afternoon. The post-game show.
Can you believe it's been 5 years since I flipped the switch and Channel 102 became Radio Andy?
I am live at the Radio Andy launch party.
From pop culture, music, divas and icons.
Chelsea Handler is here. Ricky Martin.
Goldie Hawn. Kevin Hart.
To show-stopping moments.
They were so supportive. My dad was like, yeah, obviously.
Yeah, obviously?
This week, Andy's live with Sarah Jessica Parker, Lisa Kudrow, and Liam Neeson. And so much more. Radio Andy, Sirius XM 102.
Who will join Hale Irwin and Payne Stewart on the list of U.S. Open champions? Find out right here on U.S. Open Radio.
2 under for the round.
U.S. Open Radio.
Well, we welcome in the world number 2 player, Mr. John Rahm.
I don't think most
6th
people
hole coming up.
that I get mad, yes, but it helps me. 99.9% of the time, it helps me. And it gives me that boost of, you can call it attitude, to get it done.
Conversations with the biggest names in golf. Insight you won't find anywhere else.
5. Aziz Al.
There's some days you feel great, you go out and play like crap, and there's other days you feel real crappy and you shoot great. So, I try to take the light side of everything.
U.S. Open Week is on right now on U.S. Open Radio, Sirius 208, XM92, and on your Sirius XM app.
Well, I guess you can't hit all the fairways.
Our Round 1 play-by-play coverage at Winged Foot and the 2020 U.S. Open is concluded for the day. But we're just getting started.
From Louisville, Kentucky, Justin Thomas.
Birdie putt really fast down the hill. It's going to move right, and then it's going to move from right to left all the way down. Now curling. On his way down toward the hole. This has a chance on a good line, and he curled it home. How about that for a 65 for Justin Thomas? That was no easy putt there. That is one hell of a round, and there's your leader, JT.
Sirius XM's U.S. Open postgame show with Mark Lai and Craig Can begins now.
Well, it's not the normal time of year, and it's not the normal U.S. Open if you were watching or listening today.
Nice
but I will
swing.
say this, with a few of the names that are up near the top of the leaderboard, some of those names feel pretty normal.
Okay, back on the fairway. This is good stuff here.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the postgame show here for the U.S. Open on U.S. Open Radio. I'm Craig Can. Mark Lai is along, and we've got guests coming. We've got sound coming. We will break down this leaderboard. Mark Lai, Justin Thomas shoots 5 under par 65. That's right. This is the U.S. Open. 5 under par 65. And at last count, 21 players under par today. Your thoughts are what?
I was kind of waiting for a U.S. Open to break out because as much as I saw them talking about the rough, I thought that, it was going to be, I don't know if there was going to be a lot of punishment dealt the players today, but right out of the box,
9-footer here. I think
you
can do this.
Kept it under par. And so I guess we were misled a little bit about the severity of the rough, because what I saw out of the rough was a shock. I saw him able to control the ball. I mean, I couldn't see the ball when they were hitting it, but when the ball landed, I want to say 8 times out of 10, it looked like they had a play at the green. And but still, the round that Justin Thomas put on it was
that'll work for par.
An absolute masterpiece. He hit the ball,
and that'll keep you at 2 under for the round.
The mounding to his advantage. I mean, right on the first hole, he used the backstop.
Okay, it's time to send this ball on its way.
Got the birdie right out of the box. And here's the thing, Craig. I heard Xander Schauffele giving an interview, and he just now finished. And I think that the early players were watched by the afternoon players because they made reference to how easy it looked like the golf course was playing in the morning. So it kind of changed their attitude, and the scoring stayed down pretty much all day.
This one's looking good.
Great day of golf. I love the golf course, and even though the scoring was low, I'm far from disappointed at today's U.S. Open.
Putting from around 16
I'm not
feet
the least bit disappointed. There is a long way to go, 5 under par. I think there are a lot of players, Justin Thomas perhaps included, that might say, yeah, you give me 5 under, I'm done. I'll sit here. I'll wait. Let's see what happens. Let's bring in the man that called a lot of the golf today. And you recognize the voice from this network, and that is Brian Katrick, who joins us now on the post game. Brian, we've basically laid it out there. You covered it. You followed it. You've talked about it. What's your take? I mean, is this thing shocking to you, or are you quite pleased with what you saw today?
Well, I mean, it can be. I don't know that I would ever get to, or it wouldn't get to shocking based on today. It's definitely surprising, and I'm quite pleased. So you try to roll it all in.
Okay, let's see what you can do with this 7-footer.
Mark talked about the length of the rough and the penalty in the rough being maybe over-exaggerated. That was always a blueprint, Craig, and you know it. I mean, that was how things have gone for the last 20 years in major championships. Since there's been an added media exposure, the players earlier in the week say it's impossible.
So
Nobody's
that's going to keep you at
Nobody can break
2
par
under
out
for the
there.
round.
And then somebody goes out and shoots 65. Now, we haven't seen that in the U.S. Open. We take it a little bit more seriously when folks cry wolf in a U.S. Open because we know that can be the case. But what I think you saw was a soft golf course, and the winds that were supposed to blow this afternoon did, but they weren't terrible. The sun never really came out, so we never saw it really get firm and fast. There's a chance of rain again overnight. I don't think we're going to really get the tournament that we thought we were going to get until we get to the weekend.
I agree with you. You took the cried wolf right out of my mouth. I mean,
I'm sorry. You've been through it.
And my segue was there is a wolf. He's right up there near the top of the leaderboard.
I think you're heading into the cabbage on this one.
He is not crying right now. He's feeling really good about himself. Here's the thing. I think we all know this. Mark, you as well. The
very
number of times
deep
you said
in the rough.
What you expected, not necessarily what we're seeing. We have been tricked and duped into so many majors where everybody says, this thing is so tough, 11 over is going to win it, If they shoot under par, it'll be amazing. And then they go out there and they shoot the grass off the course. I'm not saying they did that today. And I'm not saying that they're going to get to, a winning score like we saw once before in 1990 when Hale Irwin won a U.S. Open at Medina at 8 under par, right? Or other majors that were U.S. Opens where they were fairly well under par. But I think today was okay. And I actually think, and I'm going to ask you this first, Mark, and then Brian, do you feel that the USGA,
3 under for the round,
all the times they've been trampled on and talked about, belittled, critiqued.
All right.
I mean,
let's
Xander
let her
Schauffele
rip.
just said they're known for, quote-unquote, tricking up courses. Do you feel like they've softened just a bit? You first, Mark.
Well, they did today, okay? But there are still 3 rounds left, and knowing the Blue Coats like I know them, I don't think they're extremely pleased at the way the scoring went with 21 players in the red right now. So they can adjust, and they probably will. But I think right now, which I really like, Craig, is that they're erring on the side of safety rather than erring on
Great
the
contact.
side of,
nice swing.
A carnival atmosphere like we've seen at some major championships that they've put on where the ball's, repelling and rolling back at you, some of the ridiculous hole locations that we've seen.
We're right around 170 yards
I think
out.
they're erring on the side of safety now.
Easier to stiffen it after we go where we've gone today, Brian, than to go the other way. And this is too good a venue, too respected a venue to lean on the side of let's start this thing off where everybody's struggling. That's my opinion.
I think you're exactly right, Craig. I agree with that. And look, in other sports, we all understand the value of working the officials. Well, the only chance PGA Tour players have to work the officials is Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. You can't do anything when you're trying to take a drop behind a tree on Saturday morning.
You're on the green.
Help. So the only way they can influence what's going to happen the rest of the week is by getting on them early. There's 2 par 5s out here. 6 holes played under par today. The USGA, as they said, we all know what the reputation has been. We know what the history has been. But they said, look, we want par to be a good score on every single hole. Well, par was a very good score on most of these holes, on 12 of them. 2 par 5s, you throw those out the window. There were 4 par 4s that played under par today. Or 4 other holes that played under par today. They happened to be, 3 of them were par 4s. The 7th was also under par. I don't think they're too troubled by that. I think that's about as high as they wanted that number to be. I think they were okay with 4-ish holes playing under par any given day. This was 6, but this was the soft day. And we may get one more half-soft day.
Okay, so
but then
that'll
not
keep
be
you
anymore.
at 3 under for the round.
They're kind of starting them off easy. We know what's coming. We're fine.
And hole number 10 coming up here.
I hope it's coming.
And by the way, I disagree. I disagree. 16 and 17 are par 5s. They're just,
Oh, well, you're right about that.
498 and 504 with that rough and that type of a golf course. Let's talk about the players a little bit here. And let's start with Justin Thomas, Brian. He didn't win Player of the Year. He had a heck of a year. He didn't win the FedEx Cup, but he had a heck of a year. And he's looking for major championships to add to his resume. We have a long way to go. I don't know that I'm surprised that he's up at the top of the leaderboard. And I'm actually not surprised Patrick Reed is either. If Mark and I've been talking about this for a while, I've thrown Reed's name out enough. But what's your spin on the guys up at the top of that leaderboard, Thomas and Reed?
Well, we should have seen this coming for Justin Thomas. There were 3 things that were just huge, flashing signs that I thought were good for Justin Thomas. One, you got the chip on the shoulder from the Tour Championship and the Player of the Year, which you pointed out. 2, you got your caddy Jimmy Johnson back, and you had Bones, who might wind up in the Hall of Fame, so that's great. But there's something comfortable about putting the old glove back on.
From time to time.
And 3, Justin Thomas talked earlier in the week about really enjoying this golf course, and he liked it. Anytime you see a guy smiling, they're generally going to play better golf. And you throw a 4th one in there also. He was paired with Tiger Woods, and that grouping hasn't gone that well for everybody in the past. But I think Justin and Tiger, very clearly, they're very comfortable with each other. So you got a guy with a lot of positives, and he gets to show off a little bit to Tiger, and that's a recipe for success. So to me, no surprise there. And I know you guys love the short game of Patrick Reed.
Decent shot there, considering
going to miss every fairway and every
where you're
green,
hitting
and
from.
The guy with the best short game is going to win. And why not have Patrick Reed one shot off the lead?
Yeah, a couple of good golf swings up there near that top of the leaderboard also, and that's Louis Oosthuizen, who, if he's on his game, is a guy that would be seemingly, I know he's not the longest guy in the field by any stretch, but he can certainly go point to point, as Mark likes to talk about. I got to be honest, I am not surprised that Rory McIlroy had a good day.
Solid
today.
par, well
Mark
done.
Lai, you?
Oh, wow.
And that'll keep you at 3 under for the round.
He hadn't been the same Rory that we saw early in the year. And,
hole
he hung
number
on to it
11.
Today, but he was very careless out there still. Look, I saw the guy hit the best drive I've ever seen a human being hit on the 6th hole, right? It's 321. He drives it on the back level. He's got like a 2-foot area that he puts it between to get it on the green. And what does he do? He 3-jacks the dang thing. It's like, wow, you work so hard and you walk off with a par when you do that. Rory's great in spite of himself. And I saw this at Harding Park. You know, it looked like he was just wasting shots out there. Now,
tree got in the way on that one.
He didn't waste that many today. He kind of held it together. He made another, 6-foot putt for a par after he rammed a 20-footer 6-foot by. And I said, are we going to watch the same kind of thing going on? It doesn't appear to me that Rory is as careful as he should be. It looks like he's just kind of, just hitting the ball and worrying about it later. I think at these major championships, you have to be a little bit more thoughtful. Now, of course, Rory, we've seen him doing his great stuff, Craig. I mean, what he's done at some tournaments in the past is just mind-boggling. But he hasn't had that in quite some time. He did get Player of the Year last year against Brooks Koepka. But, to win majors, I think he's got to tighten up a little bit. That's what I think.
We are talking with Brian Katrick as well, Craig Can, Mark Lai, and I've categorized a bunch of things for this leaderboard because I know we're going to be talking tonight for quite some time, and I want to try to touch on as many of these names as I can to get your perspective, Brian.
Here's a pro tip.
I've got a little category
Try
called
staying
Here
out
We Go
of the
Again,
rough. It'll
and
help,
it's
trust me.
Xander Schauffele, and the other guy I threw in that is Brendan Todd. I mean, I am serious. This guy just continues to surprise me. I got to stop.
Well, I love the Brendan Todd call, and I love that he's in that category. This is what he's been waiting for. We saw it again at the PGA Championship. Remember at Hartford,
great contact.
He was the leader most of the way through, and I don't think he missed a fairway. I think he'd missed one fairway coming into Sunday. He was threatening to set the all-time record for fairways hit. Well, that's perfect, isn't it? I mean, that's exactly what you want. He's coming in with confidence. He's also got the perfect mindset because no matter what had happened out there, if they'd had a zephyr and it blew sideways and the round of the day was 75 instead of 65, I think Brendan Todd would have been the least bothered by it. And then, Xander Schauffele, how quickly has he proven that he fits out here and he belongs? That's a guy that just got it. I mean, how many times have we seen the Rookie of the Year and then you just never hear from him again? This guy was a big deal in the middle of that rookie season, and he has continued to be a big deal. So, absolutely. I love that category. Here we go again. He looks like he belongs.
He does. And Hale Irwin in our preview show picked him to win this event this week, and I know he was not alone. Mark Lai, I've got a category as well called
26-footer from here to the cup.
And in that category, I've got Spieth, Woods, Rose, and DJ. None of them had great days. I can't say I'm shocked about the Spieth thing. He was up and down, had his moments, positive and negative. Tiger, the same, and we'll hear from him in just a little bit. Who surprised you today in a way that you were like, man, they had a better chance, and they didn't take advantage of it?
Well, first of all, I want to give a huge attaboy to Jordan Spieth because he was, over par way early.
Yeah.
He bogeyed and then lost the ball on the second hole. I mean, and so he's 3 over after 2, and you say, uh-oh, here we go again. Like you said, the last segment, here we go again. But he got it in. He got it back to even par, and then he made another double bogey coming in, and it's like, here we go again. But still, I think Jordan Spieth
1 under for the round.
Is a whole lot different in shooting his 73 than, say, somebody like Tiger. Tiger didn't get much out of his round.
Okay, it's time to send this ball on its way.
He wasn't great technically, only hitting 6 fairways and 9 greens. He still had a chance to get this round in. Making double on the last hole was just, that was like, oh my gosh. I thought my day was going bad already. Now I make double on the last hole. And that is just not a good finish for Tiger. I mean, he could have made birdie and everything would have been good in the world from 1 over to even. But instead you make double bogey. So that's the head scratcher for me. He worked awfully hard to keep it around par all day, and then he just fumbled the ball in the 18, making that double.
Yeah, we'll get some thoughts from Brian on some of those names, and I've got another one. You have to go a little bit down that leaderboard to find maybe the biggest surprise of all the scores on day one, and we'll talk about that in just a couple of minutes. Do you want to be a part of a virtual U.S. Open final round watch party featuring 3-time U.S. Open champ Hale Irwin, 2-time major champion Dave Stockton, 1987 U.S. Open champ Scott Simpson, and David Marr on September 20th? Email rsvp@SiriusXM.com. Include PGA Tour Radio, your name, email, and phone number by 1 p.m. Eastern. on September 18th. So not a lot of time. The first 20 U.S. eligible responders who are 18 and up can attend. This is U.S. Open Radio and the postgame show, where the lead is Justin Thomas. We're back after this.
It's U.S. Open Week on Sirius XM.
Here's your game plan for following the NFL on Sirius
Hole number
XM.
13 coming up.
Listen to NFL Radio, the best news, interviews, and analysis.
Second down.
Take that information to Fantasy Sports Radio and let their experts tell you how to win your league.
Third down.
Each Friday afternoon at 4 Eastern on Mad Dog Sports Radio, Super Bowl MVP Phil Simms and Christopher Mad Dog Russo bring passionate opinions on the trending stories.
Fourth down.
Hear every NFL game all season long on Sirius XM, and you can always hear your hometown call on the Sirius XM app.
SoFi presents Neighbors Discussing Personal Loans While Social Distancing.
Cindy, just finished up a home improvement project. Thanks to a personal loan from SoFi, Dan's Patio Palace is finally a reality.
Nice, Dan.
Applying online with SoFi was easy, and they lend between $5,000 and $100,000, which is more than most competitors.
Thanks for the update.
Visit SoFi.com/renovation to apply.
SoFi Lending Corp. Terms and conditions and state restrictions apply. CFL 6054612 and MLS 1121636.
Are you a survivor of sexual abuse while in the Boy Scouts? You may be entitled to compensation, no matter how long ago the abuse happened, but your time to file a claim is limited. Call 800-678-8807. That's 800-678-8807 for more information. As a result of thousands of victims filing sexual abuse claims, the Boy Scouts have filed for bankruptcy protection, and the Bankruptcy Court has set November 16, 2020 as the deadline for abuse survivors to file a claim. As a result of this bankruptcy, a victim's compensation fund is being set up that may be worth over $1.5 billion. Childhood sexual abuse takes numerous forms, including forcible rape, exposing oneself to a child, or showing her or him pornographic images, or viewing or photographing a child in a sexual context. If you are a survivor of sexual abuse while in the Boy Scouts, you may be entitled to compensation. Call 800-678-8807. That's 800-678-8807 for more information. Your call is completely confidential. Sponsored by Mark J. Byrne and Partners, LLC.
Are you ready for the ultimate feast? Whether you're vegan, vegetarian, or flexitarian, there's no better way to fire up the grill this summer than with the delicious taste of Gardine's newest plant-based burger. Gardine's ultimate plant-based burger looks, cooks, and tastes just like meat for the ultimate burger experience with no sacrifices. To learn more and to have yourself the ultimate meal, visit Gardine.com or just go to your freezer aisle and look for Gardine.
You're listening to in-depth tournament coverage on Sirius XM PGA Tour Radio. Brought to you in part by Dish. Tuned in to you. To learn more, call 1-844-CALL-DISH or go to dish.com.
This season is unlike any other. Higher stakes, amazing stars, bigger rewards.
Get louder now. Get louder now. I know what this is all about.
Where greatness becomes glory. And now's the time to set the pace. PGA Tour, an extraordinary new season, is here. Follow the action of the 2020-2021 PGA Tour season at PGAtour.com.
U.S. Open postgame
22
show,
feet
Mark
from
Lai,
the cup.
And we're joined by Brian Katrick, who is calling golf today. And if you just joined us, the leaderboard has Justin Thomas at the top, 5 under par, a shot clear of Patrick Reed. Thomas Peters, the guy can play. What is he, about 6'6", Mark Lai? I mean, the guy he's a big dude. And
he's a big boy. And he's played well. He's played well. That kind of leverage and that kind of strength, man, he's been a great player for 4 or 5 years now. And I remember him playing in the Masters one year and just really lighting it up, moves it right to left, and just a strong guy. The last couple of years he's been a little bit soft and it hasn't been working out, but he's a guy that's got some talent.
Matthew Wolf's at 4 under, McIlroy at 3, Lee Westwood.
Right, one
been
over
there,
for the
done
round.
That, just hasn't quite done it all the way. Louis Ustasen also at 3 under with Westwood. We're talking
here we
with Brian
go.
Katrick. Brian, I was looking at the leaderboard and I'm going, okay, where is Colin Morikawa? Let me see. Where's Colin Morikawa? Whoa.
Keep going down.
What in the heck happened today, BK?
Well, I think he may have gotten caught up all of a sudden. Hard to say what's in a guy's mind. You know, this is the U.S. Open. It's a tough golf course.
He played with Tiger. That was a tough one.
Yeah.
Know? And, maybe it's the Cal Stanford thing. Who knows? But good playing along with Justin Thomas. I mean, those guys are making just a bucket load of birdies. And Colin Morikawa just didn't look like he belonged in the same group with these guys. And I think that was a thing where Wingfoot won and the rest of the group too. The rest of the group got the golf course. I guess maybe Tiger. Maybe Wingfoot 2 and Justin Thomas 1. How about that? Because Justin did shoot -5, and then Tiger shot the +3 and Morikawa +6. So not good.
And you had to wonder, too, about what Dustin Johnson was going to do after all of what's going on. I mean, he's been playing, and playing great, Mark.
Justin Thomas?
No,
or
Dustin
more.
Johnson. Did I say Justin Thomas? I meant Dustin Johnson.
I'm confused. Okay, so we're talking about Dustin Johnson now?
DJ did not. Yeah, I was talking about some of the guys that did not have good days. I mean, I'm talking about Morikawa, and I'm throwing DJ down there too because I wanted to cover some of these bigger names early on here.
Here's the thing. I know DJ was on the tip of everybody's tongue. I mean, DJ, player of the year. He's playing great. It kind of reminds you last year, remember the year that he had to pull out of the Masters because of an injury, fell down the stairs. And he's playing that great going to the Masters. I think he had 3 wins in a row. Well, this was a perfect storm for him, coming to a major after winning player of the year and just, winning a few events and being on the best form that he has ever had. But I stand by
all right, you're on the green. That is awesome
this golf
stuff.
Course
okay, let's see what you can do with this 7-footer.
A long hitter as well as you might think it fits a long hitter. The right long hitter, maybe. But as I looked through the golf course, I looked at, 7 dogleg right to left. Okay? And that just doesn't work for a guy who is comfortable hitting the fade. It just doesn't. And the first thing he did today was miss the fairway on 1 to the right. And it's a dogleg right to left. And I said, there we go. It's going to be a tougher day for him than we think about. And it didn't look like
you're in there.
He ever had this golf course on the run at all. He was over
sitting
par
at
immediately
2 over for the round
all day. And this is not an easy golf course, Craig, to play from an over par situation. It's one of those places where maybe you get it over par early and then you get it back maybe in like 6 or 7, and in like Patrick Reed did. But you have to keep playing great golf, especially toward the finish. 16, 17, and 18. I mean, they ruined a lot of days out there for players.
Beauty.
I mean, Tiger finishing bogey double. I mean, there's one, and there's a bunch of guys that did that. So and DJ, you come looking for birdies. On
sitting
that
at 1 over for the round.
It ain't going to happen. So
DJ
was
+3's not. I mean, look, he's not that far out.
No,
I'm just saying
it's
that
time to send this ball on its way.
Brian Katrick is with us here. Brian, there is one name, and I don't know if you were one of the ones that wagered all that money because there was a lot of money being wagered on Phil Mickelson, who just happened to shoot 42 on the second 9 holes today, and shot a very, very poor score. I'll just leave that at that.
Well, one guy wagered $45,000 on Phil at 75 to 1. A lot of that money came from one particular individual. I think what we saw with Phil was just the absolute nightmare scenario. All season long, he struggled with the putting. He's used several different types of putters. He's using different putting grips on the same green. He's going back and forth.
Okay, you're kind of in
a lot of
some deep stuff. This is the danger zone.
You seem like you may have gotten a little past that. He goes out there on the PGA Tour Champions. He's driving it great. He's putting it great, or at least putting it well enough. Because he's striking it so well. Maybe you could cover up whatever putting woes there may have still been, and then unfortunately you come here where you have to have your best driving week of the year, and he has maybe his worst driving round of the year. And you already know that the putter is a question mark, so you can't look over there and expect any help, and there was no help. So, unfortunately, it was the perfect storm for Phil Mickelson today, and he only beat one player.
Yeah, it's you know what, I'll be honest, that bothers me. I struggle with that because I have wanted Phil to get his, and it's just not going to happen.
Here's a
And
pro
it's
tip.
obviously not gonna happen
Try staying out of
at
the
this
rough.
course.
It'll
But
help, trust me.
It's frustrating to see a guy come that close, that often, that many times, and not have it happen. I want your take on Tiger before we let you go. What do you make of his round today? Are we at a point where we can go into these majors and still allow ourselves to dream, but we also have to be realistic and say the odds just aren't there, or is that going too far?
I don't know. I think you may be right on it, Craig. The odds are not there for anybody. So Tiger's more human than he's ever been. Obviously, at this point today, by all accounts, looked to be a pretty good back day. It was just dropped 3 shots in the last 2 holes, and other than that, he's right in it.
Yeah,
I think I don't know that. I think you pointed out the 3 over pars aren't, even though they're outside the cut line right now. I don't know that they're necessarily out of it right now. So, we expect this tournament to get tougher. Tiger's ball striking was pretty good until the last couple of holes. He
made some putts too. Made some
yeah, the
curlers.
stats didn't back it up. Right, the stats didn't necessarily back it up, but he knew exactly what he was doing out there. The short game looked good. The putter was amazing. Everybody talked about the fact that he goes to a corded grip. To me, it wasn't just that it was a corded grip. It's a regular-sized corded grip, or at least appears to be a standard-sized corded grip. And Mark can tell you all about that. He was using a very, very thin grip. But whatever it was, you can pencil that in. I think you're staying with that. So yeah, I think it was disappointing to see that was the number associated with what was a pretty good day for Tiger before the 17th and the 18th holes.
Yeah. What do you make of that, Mark?
Well, I like the thinner grips. It just gives you a little bit more head feel, and it probably puts your hands in play.
And that'll keep you at 1 over for the round.
Bryson DeChambeau thing, who's got grips as big as baseball bats.
Okay, here we go.
No wrist action and doesn't really care about the feel, but yeah, every once in a while, it makes sense to get a little more head feel, to just make, maybe put 1 wrap less on the grip. But getting back to Tiger, it's like, what do you expect? I mean, look, he's been out there for a long time. Seems like there's really 2 or 3 great players that come out each year, and for the time that Tiger's been out there, that's
good.
about 60 new players, right?
That he's beaten over that time.
Yeah, that he's beaten over that time, that's right. But lately, when you start losing your physical,
I'd say around
skills,
105 yards
maybe even
or so to the
skills,
pin here.
I dare to say that, we've seen him struggle late in rounds, and today was no, exception. Sometimes I remember when I was out there watching Jack Nicklaus and Ray Floyd and some of these guys that were great, and then all of a sudden they reach their late 40s, I say, what's the difference, Ray? He says, Mark, I can still play great golf.
Now that was a swing.
But I just can't think my way for a full, round of golf anymore. He said, I'm good for about 13 or 14 holes. Maybe that's what's going on with
26-footer from
Tiger.
here to the cup.
I did see him slump his shoulders a little bit when he kept missing kind of drives to the right side, which seems to be his miss again. At least he's not missing it both ways like he was in practice. But, I think he could have ground out a better round today. And just, 3 over the last 2 holes, that just makes you feel just sick, Yeah. So, anyway, he's going to have a hard time tomorrow because he's playing in the afternoon. If I'm him, I'm getting around that TV and I'm watching, if they're putting any backstops out there like they did on a couple of holes today, like number 1.
Well, Brandel Chambly made a comment on the air tonight on Golf Channel that we had the massacre at Wingfoot today. We had like a massage parlor at Wingfoot. It was a little bit more tame and lame. But I get the feeling we might just be
okay, so that'll keep you at 1 over for the round.
You feel we are, Brian Katrick, going into tomorrow? Last thought from you.
All right,
yeah,
let's let her rip.
I think that we have definitely seen the calm before the storm. This was it. I hope you enjoyed it, boys. You know what? They may get another half day of it tomorrow, but by tomorrow afternoon, look out, and it should be a fantastic weekend.
Hey, go rest the voice, and we'll listen to you tomorrow. Thanks for spending some time with us on the postgame.
Thank you, Brian.
You're very kind, gents. Yeah, thank you.
Well, we want to hear from our listeners as well. 866-469-0026. Too easy for you? What do you make of this whole thing? And do you think that we could have
no good.
Reed,
Pretty deep
Rory
rough
McIlroy,
here. Not
battle
going to
down the
sugarcoat
stretch.
it.
Could this hang on to the end? Bringing back a little Ryder Cup? Want to hear from you, 866-469-0026. We'll hear from some of the players when we come back. Golfers around the world are getting their bodies in the game, burning calories, getting stronger, and taking it to the course. Now you can too. At Hit It Great on Demand, it's the streaming golf fitness website for players at all levels and the exclusive home to Coach Joey D, K. Wayne Toulier, Chris Noss, and a team of tour-proven experts who helped players win more than 130 tournaments, and 4 of them reached world number 1.
Could be in the rough here.
We all know we need to exercise to be healthy. So why not get stronger and longer while you burn a few calories and feel a whole lot more energy out on the course? Visit tryhititgreat.com right now. Start your free, and they mean free, there's no credit card required, free trial workout and discover more flexibility, speed, power, and distance. Plus, get their golf fitness workouts on all your devices, however you stream in the house. Don't let another day slip away. Visit tryhititgreat.com today. That's tryhititgreat.com. U.S. Open postgame on U.S. Open Radio. Craig Can, Mark Live back after this.
Regardless of the ruling that makes him uncatchable, Dustin Johnson has won the United States Open.
U.S. Open Week is on Sirius XM.
Get ready for the Emmys on Award Show Radio on Sirius XM.
Hi, I'm Jess Cagle.
And I'm Julia Cunningham.
All weekend, here are our exclusive interviews with nominees like Sandra Oh, Catherine O'Hara, and Hugh Jackman.
Only in America can you win an award for hosting an award show.
Plus, get the latest industry buzz. Will your favorite show win?
Find out on Award Show Radio, happening now on Sirius XM Stars 109.
Or listen on demand with the Sirius XM app.
The defining moment happened on March 24th at the Players' Championship.
Johnny, that's better than most. How about in? That is better than most. Better than most.
Don't miss the defining moment in 2021 as the Players' Championship returns to TGC
Not too bad. 2 over
March
par at the end of your round.
To learn
All right,
more,